so I could see the comments. I see you, best friend. Hello.
Yeah, I messed up.
Oh, they get to see the mystery man a little bit today.
All right, talk about it. All right. Now, I'm gonna block the camera. I'm gonna block it in a second. I just wanted to do,
They don't get to see the mystery man.
nah, it's not about me. It's about you. So, it's did
Yeah, I got the moderator.
you send it to me at first?
I did.
You know, wasn't supposed to be for me though. It was supposed to be for.
No, I didn't send it to you.
Yeah, you did. It said moderate. It said moderate for a second. To me.
Moderator, did you get it? Oh no, the moderator's on.
Okay, she's on. So, all right. Well, we're gonna wait a minute, get it going about another 40 seconds to get people in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't give you time and guys enough time. I feel like I didn't give you enough time.
Yeah, last time was just I was in the cigar lounge last time, and you hit me. I was in Atlanta, cigar lounge, and you just hit me. I just so shit, you know what I mean? And I can't leave you hanging. I said you're the last person I'm gonna leave hanging. So
and you have proven that for over 30-something years.
Long time, right? They have no idea. This is way before all this, you know.
You've been there through every heartbreak, death, mother, uncle, birth of children.
Oh my God! From the very beginning.
Remember, you used to take me when I was pregnant with my piece. You used to take me to Richard's Place on 200, 199 in Linden Boulevard.
200 in Linden, I think, right? It was Linden, 200 in Linden.
Yeah, it was 199 or 200 in Linden. Yeah,
200 in Linden. That's a whole fact, man. This is way before, because it was stuff in the chat saying, "Oh, why he turned his camera off? Is he scared to?"
I had to tell someone in the comment. I was like, "Oh no, he knows who he is. We know."
It's a whole fact.
Yeah.
Same spot, south side. This to all the way to the core. But
real south side.
Real south side. What is
not
real south side?
God Road, which is really not south side. That's not south side.
Right. No, that's not. We consider. I think it was a Springfield Gardens. I think we consider that, right?
Yeah, it's not south side for sure.
Definitely not. Definitely not what we consider south side. That would be a Springfield Gardens. South side kind of stopped at right before Rochdale on Baisley and God Brewer, I think, right?
Yeah, because definitely Baisley Projects would be considered south side.
Right. Yeah, that definitely would be. Yeah. Thank you for the comments in the chat.
We'll get more into that later.
We're going to address that later. It's not about me. It's about you. And since the last interview, which was really spur of the moment, it was a knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Nick, you sure you want to do it?" You did it. Yeah. And then we got millions of views on that, right? A lot of backlash, but a lot of positivity as well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a couple of things I want to address before we get into back to the tea, right? So before we get back into the tea, we want to address a couple of things. The comments, a lot of comments creators made. So the clout thing.
Wait, before we get into that, I just want to. I wrote something that I wanted to like. It's like you see the comments and it's things that you want to address. So it's like I wrote something and I just want to read it.
Right. Go ahead.
I don't have to put on my glasses. No.
You look good. You look good, Nick.
This ain't even these are my ugly reading glasses, but you know, this is to address all the comments that say, "Oh, this is about revenge, blah blah blah," and clout. And yeah, I want to read this first, and then I'm going to go into your question about clout. But
Okay.
there is a video some of y'all forgot. A video 50 Cent made called "A Psychic Told Me," and it was geared toward DJ Khaled when he had beef with Khaled.
Right.
But his beef didn't go at Khaled. He went at his mother. He found her sleeping at work.
Mm.
She wasn't famous. She wasn't in the booth. She was just someone's mother. And 50 posted it like it was a movie trailer. He narrated it himself, slow, eerie, like a villain setting up a scene. And at the end, he says so proudly, "I have less compassion than the average human." He wanted you to know this isn't a joke. This is how far he'll go to win a fight. The message wasn't just for Khaled, it was for anyone watching. It was for people like me. People who he thinks he can scare into silence. People who have to sit quiet while the world laughed at their trauma. If he could threaten someone's mother on camera at her job, sleeping, if he could threaten someone's mother on camera, what do you think he said to me behind closed doors? What do you think my son grew up hearing? How do you think it felt raising a child with that shadow hanging over you? These are just questions I want you
Right.
guys to think about. Knowing the man on the world stage isn't the man you knew behind the scenes. That's why I speak now, not for drama, not for revenge, but because when someone tells you they have less compassion than the average human, believe them and protect your children accordingly. And I just want to, and
Mm.
I just want to say that it's like this app is not clout for me. Like people don't know my story. Like I am my parents' first child.
Right.
I am the first grandchild on both sides. I'm the first great grandchild on both sides. I'm the first niece on both sides. I'm the first great niece. Like I've had attention all my life.
Mm.
Like I don't need. I I got a blue check in real life, not on the app. I don't need. This is not for clout. This app is not for clout for me. It's not life to me. Like,
I mean,
but
everybody has a
what
breaking point. Go ahead.
but what we have endured, that's life. Being bullied on a world stage, that's life. Jumping out of a burning house, losing everything, that's
Right.
life. While all this is fodder and jokes and laughs, like that's life.
Right. Right. It is. It is what it is. And social media is a part of life right now, and it's not going anywhere. So you can use it for whatever you choose to use it for. Right. So we're gonna get negative comments. So that is what it is. That's what we have the moderators for. And moderators just just do your thing. So why this platform? So what? As far as you doing an interview here and not somewhere else, there's not a bigger platform. So tell me the backstory on them, other people who might have reached out and why you never did it there instead of here.
Well, we could start with one that's just more famous, one that's in the public eye. And 50 has been trying to block interviews for years, but it's one in particular that was broadcast on his Instagram. He always likes to run his mouth and tell on himself. Um, it was a guy from Black that had contacted me. His name was Mafi. He wanted to interview me, so he got a little overzealous, and he had, put on his Instagram, "Oh, You know, he was like the booking guy for Black. He's like, oh, I got 50 Cent baby mother. You know, like you know, he's excited. 50 then proceeded to um threaten Mafi on Instagram. And this is a video of Mafi. He talks about it on Instagram, how 50 threatened him when he interviewed me. So he threatened him, and I just want to get the exact verbiage he said. He's 50 Cent posted a picture of Mafi on his Instagram and said, I don't know this guy, never met him before. I have nothing to do with him getting a $150 in the face. Vlad TV should know better than to go get into gangster shit. This is what happens all the time now. The poor guy has to staple his face together. Get well soon.
But did that happen? So wait a minute. That's what the guy said.
No, this is what 50 Cent said
Oh,
on
okay.
his
Just want to clarify for the
Instagram,
people.
threatening the guy from not interview. And then Black goes on to talk about it on Math Hoffa to address it and said it has something to do with Jimmy Henchman, but it was from, like he said, the title 50 Cent threatened me over his baby mother Shaniqua Thompkins. This is the guy who worked for Black.
How long ago was that?
I don't remember. It was some time ago. It was some time ago, but this is what he did, and he puts this on his Instagram in real time. He puts this on his Instagram, threatens the guy. So Rafi then goes, and you Google all of this. So please do your homework. I hope y'all got y'all pens and pads out so y'all can write this down or go over the live, look at it, or if you have real journalists on these platforms, do your homework.
You do
And
diligence. That's right.
he threatened him. Mafi then goes get a police report.
And whatever happened, what was the end result of that?
He didn't pursue it. He didn't pursue it. He did not pursue it. He said his mother was scared. He did not pursue it. He didn't pursue it. He called me. He called me. He's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't understand. And yeah, Vlad didn't want to. He told me Vlad was like, just leave it alone. Vlad then called Benzino. Say, no, let's just leave it alone. Like, and this is what he's been doing behind closed doors,
Right.
behind the scenes, and that's why.
A quick
now,
question. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying now with Instagram, I'm on my platform, on my live, and I can speak freely.
Right. Because someone asked me, did so you know we took longer than what we expected to come back to the live again. So someone asked me, did he put a C? What do you say? Cease and what do they call it?
It's called cease and desist.
Yeah,
No.
On your Instagram for you can't speak anymore. That's what someone asked me.
I'm in real life. Like I have things to go. This is not my life. So no, like I had a 50th birthday party I went to out of town. I had death in my family. My great uncle passed away. So I have real life stuff going on.
Right.
like
Yeah.
this app is not my life. It's not my life.
And so we left it last time on speaking about who's remember we spoke about the baby mother thing or who messed with whose baby mothers first and all that. We'll get that in a second, right? But it's because there's so much been on. So I want to talk about Marquise for a second, right? Now, this has been going on for a long time. You know, we in the mix, right? So we hear what goes on, and there's always a talk of you brainwashed. There's already talk of you brainwash your son to hate his father or not be with his father, not want to be around his father, right? And I'm going to turn the camera when I ask the question and when you speak. So there's always that narrative of you brainwash the son to go against the father. The typical, So explain that situation from your perspective. I want you to clear that up because I will be going to clean up a lot of rumors and shit like that. Go ahead.
Marquise was raised with his father from birth, both of his parents, from birth to about 12 years old. When I left him, So when people always say, "Oh, she's jealous, she's bitter," how can you be bitter from something you left? I left him. He didn't leave me. I left him. He was on the Forbes list. He was big almighty, and I decided to walk away from the relationship. So Marquise was with both of his parents from birth to about 12 years old. He has seen the abuse. He knows his father for who he is and who he's not. He knows me for who I am and for who I'm not. So when a child witnesses that, but not most children, Marquise is not, I guess, of the average child, he has a mind of his own. And his father always tried to make Marquise, like, he put Marquise in like a kind of like in a trick bag to me. He wanted Marquise to hate me. I just trying to just think of how to word it, but it's like he wanted Marquise to hate me so much, and when Marquise didn't, it was a problem for him.
But
It was
how was Marquise around that time though?
well when I like I said when I left him, he was about 12. That's when don't get me wrong, you have a little smear campaign going on when you're with him, but that's when the smear campaign really was like just in full effect. Oh, like everything I won't do for you is because of your mother. One day he called Marquise. Marquise was about 15 years old, maybe like about 14, 15. And he calls Marquise and tells him, like, this Marquise is telling me this. You about to turn 16 now, right? You're gonna start driving. Tell your mother to buy you a car. And he would get mad because Marquise would be like, okay. That would bother him because he couldn't woo Marquise with money and trinkets and fame and vacations. Like it bothered him that Marquise has a mind of his own. And I laugh because it's like Marquise really should be our big homie. And I'm a big homie to the big homie. Like he's mad at Marquise because Marquise don't bat at. He's mad at Marquise because Marquise doesn't let his money influence him like you see these grown men do. And he's upset with that. And he put Marquise in a trick bag like it's either me or your mother. And Marquise says, I don't want to choose, but I choose my mother. He'd rather have less with me than more with him.
He said that? Look,
Yes. Yeah.
I want to make it specific to what he said because, like I said, we were addressing comments, we addressing slander, all that bullshit. So when you say things, I want it to be like, hey, this is what my child said, and he has a mind of his
This is what
own.
my child said. He'd
Right.
rather have less with me than more with him.
Right.
So, and I always tell Marquise, like, you're not on my side, you're not on your dad's side, you're on your side. You're a kid, you have nothing to do with it. But he put Marquise in a bag. No, it's either me or your mother. And so it's like, okay, since you're forcing me to choose, I choose my mother.
Right.
And that to me speaks volumes. Because you know kids be fanned out, for their fathers and because they're celebrities. And it just didn't impress Marquise. Like, no, I'd rather be in a loving environment. I'd rather be with my mother. I'd rather be with the person who protects me, who loves me, who doesn't disrespect me, who doesn't talk to me crazy, who's not abusive towards me. That's what he chose. Which 50 wouldn't understand because his mother didn't raise him. Not only his mother died when he was 9, but we all know his family know. I've heard it from his aunts. I heard it from his grandmother. He never lived with his mother. So all that crying on Oprah and when my mom died, I had to move in with my grandmother. He never lived with his grandmother,
Right.
so he doesn't understand the mother. The dynamic between a mother and child. But to me, in my opinion, so now we're just gonna go to facts.
Right.
I'm gonna and then they say, I turn Marquise against him. We're gonna go to this. We're gonna go to this is a VH1 article. Y'all Google it and look it up. Did 50 Cent just take Family Feud to a whole new level by threatening to shoot his son on Instagram? So I'm gonna tell you how much Marquise got a mind of his own. I'm gonna read you this article. 50 Cent apparently threatened his oldest son Marquise life on social media, and the world is asking, what the F? After Marquise posted a photo with a message that wasn't directed at his father, but that's what it said. Viv clapped back in the worst possible way, and it was not pretty. I ain't never switched. This is Marquise said on his Instagram. I ain't never switched up on nobody. Either you pushed me away, left me hanging, or proved to me how unloyal you are. Marquise said on the Instagram caption, and that's word to mommy, which Marquise actually was writing to. I don't want to tell all his business, but he was writing to a, 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 a little girlfriend he had. It had nothing to do with this clown. Viv then commented under the post, "Word to mommy, huh? Don't play with me, boy, Kanan," and he put a gun emoji. Now this is. Did 50 Cent threaten to shoot? This is what's going on. So I printed it out, right? I printed it out and I took it to the precinct. Took it to the precinct, spoke to a detective,
And what they say?
showed it to them, told them who I was, and told them the situation. The detective told me this is a terroristic threat and we will pick him up. But there's only one thing, one catch. I can't make the complaint. Marquise has to make the complaint. Because at the time, I think Marquise was about 17, maybe 18 years old, which in New York, he's still considered quote unquote a minor. So I'm thinking I could go into the precinct and I could make the complaint. They said Marquise has to make the complaint. I suggested to Marquise to make the complaint. Marquise refused to make the complaint. He said no, he didn't want to do it. So if I brainwashed him and this and that, I told him I think he should do it, and he told me no. He told me no. So Marquise is y'all big homie. Marquise should be like that. That young man has more morals, integrity, and strength as a man than these little clowns and these old ends that chase after him, looking for a check and just acting like clowns.
You wouldn't go to the precinct. He ain't doing that.
Yeah, and so it's like Marquise, and like I said to him, no, you should let him get away with this. And Marquise said no. So if he's so brainwashed, he definitely told me no, and I definitely took it to the precinct.
And I'm gonna piggyback off that real quick, 2 seconds, because I spoke to Marquise after our last live. He said, I said, you might want to come on. You might perhaps need you to come on. He said, nah, I don't know about that. So he kind of shied away from, and he got a lot of good stuff to say. We both know that. Like if he speaks, they might look at you as a bitter baby mother, the mad baby mother that got money, XYZ. But now when his son speak up as a grown man, I think Marquise, 28 now? How old is Marquise? 28 now. He's 20. He's a grown man. He's a grown man. He could have kids right now. Could have been had kids. You know what I'm saying? So if he speak up, it'd be from a perspective, but this is a man speaking on his father. You know what I mean? So to see, and that's not be ignorant here in the chat, to see your father make a whole TV show about killing his son, knowing there's no relation with the son, that could be real. That
art imitating life. It's called art imitating life, to the point where he just put on his Instagram as of recently that scene in Power where the guy kills his son and then puts in a caption, "They effed up the hit. They want more child support." So what is that supposed to mean? They effed up the hit as in the house fire, and saying that someone's asking for more child support? Because that's what I interpret that as.
Right.
And this is funny, and this is like some kind of satire. This is funny for people. Like I like the Black community got to do better.
Well, I'm not gonna go. I got so much. I'm a talker. I'll be going with that Black community, but we're not gonna get. We're gonna go with something.
I'm just saying, like me and how I was raised, and my mother and my uncle was raised under the nation, so that's my background.
Right.
So this kind of stuff, it amazes me, the ignorance of people that it just makes no sense. But this is in black and white. So see, I see like y'all like to see stuff in black and white. This is in black and white.
Right.
These are interviews and video like that you can Google. Like I said, he went to Khaled's mother's job, filmed that thugs, filmed that lady with her sleeping at a vulnerable state, and said, "I have less compassion than the average human."
Right.
And y'all think that's and y'all mad because I believe it?
What do you mean call him a hookah? We had a conversation other. You say call him a hookah boy. What did you? What was that about?
That's another one. And on the Breakfast Club, like you got this clown and be laughing and Charlemagne, who you seem like you have a lot of mental health awareness and stuff, and you're like a fifth crazy. Like him saying more like you're clowning him for having a job and trying to find his way, which again in the background, when Marquise first started doing walkthroughs and being at the club, he tried to get the owner of the club to not work with Marquise.
Mm-hmm.
This is going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get him to not work with Marquise. This is going on behind the scenes. And the owner told me this personally. Shout out to Sam from Vanity. Told me this personally.
Right. So there was attempts of Marquise. Well, Marquise made attempts to get on his own 2 feet, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So people also bring up the story about, I think it was in his book. I'm not sure. The post with he gave Marquise a sneaker store and all that. You want to address that real fast? I want to clear this shit up because, like I said, this is things that we want to address head on. The sneaker store thing where you stopped him from getting some shit. Well, go ahead. Excuse my language.
Lies, and more lies. All he did was pay his child support. He never paid a dime over. He never offered Marquise any sneaker store. Never offered him any money to open up a business. Never. All he did was pay his child support. That is it. That's it. It was no sneaker store, no boutiques, no nothing. None of it. It's all completely lies. Just lie. Just like he's a liar. Just lies. Just lies. And it's just it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Wow. Yeah.
Just lies.
Right.
Just lies. And I heard that he I guess he did an audio book or whatever from his book, and I said, and it was like circling around. I said, he's just a liar, but he been a liar.
You know, and I've seen other interviews that you've done, like short ones. Nothing was to this magnitude to let you speak, and you was never able to explain a lot of stuff. Because I want you to. That's another reason why I help you out. That you didn't do other platforms because no one actually let you tell your side of the story. It was always setting a narrative to make you look like the mad baby mother. You know what I'm saying? So that's why one of the reasons why also that you did this. Because we spoke on that before. You know what I mean? We spoke on that before. We joked and laughed about, well, we want to get to the baby mother thing now because people is waiting.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it, and we're gonna get to it when we get to it. But
right, okay. I was gonna ask you about the beating with a belt thing that we was laughing about the other day.
The other day, like because now.
So what happened now? What was the situation now with homeboy?
Yeah, with Yayo, and like even with Marquise, when the guy asked him on his live about his father, Marquise was just trying to explain to him. No one was asking for more child support. Marquise was explaining when I lost everything in a house fire and started my life off with $6,700, which I don't know where everyone else lives at, but in New York, that's it's more than the average child support. But when you live in New York, that money doesn't go very long. So then Yayo comes, and so Yayo and Yayo 2.0, the other older guy that raps, and Light the barber, which is disgusting with Light and Yayo when y'all know Marquise since he was a child. They made a video, and it just irritates me so much with Yayo. Like, Yayo, you slept in my house, you slept on my couch. You around my children. My mother was the first person to put a Bible in your hand. And for you to go at my son like that is crazy. But this is the same man who I've seen beat you with a belt.
What do you mean beat who with a belt?
50 beat Yayo with a belt like a child in his grandmother's backyard on 161 Street. Beat him with a belt. And all Yayo did was just put his hand, didn't come on, Fifth, come and beat him with a belt in front of everyone. With a belt. A grown man, and we've seen videos now, y'all can Google this, of 50 throwing him in a garbage can in front of everybody. Like, so it's like, I'm just lost. And like I said, Marquise, y'all big homie because he stands up more than y'all do. And these are supposed to be men. Beat him with it's like it's a joke, and I know we were laughing about it, but it's really not that. It's really not funny though, in the sense of this is a man.
Well, I mean, what's a man and man shit? That shit kind of funny though to the crowd. He beat your ass with a belt.
What about? No, like, and I'm looking out because like if you remember, well, you know, the Jackson's house, they had like a porch in the back, like where the back door was, and I'm just like looking through the window, like I just couldn't believe. It's still just the visual in my. I could not believe it. With a
Was
belt.
there other people there that watched it? Because you know, I mean,
Yes.
they said there was other people there. So also, so there's more.
Yeah. It wasn't just me. No. It was like the little G Unit cronies. Everybody just sat there and and I guess like you embarrass him that keeps everybody in line. Like it's always some sort of method to his madness. Well, yeah, like this is
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta address this. This was in the chat also. I'm talking about Keith for a reason. The picture they said that Keith took a picture with the ops with homeboy's son.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please explain? I know the story already. You know what I'm saying? I want to please explain him taking a picture with what he would call the ops.
Well,
Please
Marquise
explain it.
explains it on a slide by slide on his
Right.
Instagram, but Marquise was at an industry party. The boy's friend said, "My friend want to take a picture with you." The boy held on to that picture for like 5 or 6 years or something like that, and
I
then
was going to ask you
decided
that.
to post it. But then he went on Queen's Flip. He literally the boy went on Queen's Flip and said, "I didn't know him."
Oh, the boy
The
admitted that he
boy
didn't
said
know.
the boy admitted he's like, I didn't know him. My friend just saw him. We knew that was 50's son. Just saw him. It was like, oh, my friend want to take a picture with you, Marquise. That's not abnormal for Marquise, but people do want to take pictures with him, and that's what happened. And the boy held it for like 5 or 6 years and decided to post it, and that's what happened.
Mm, because
And then Diddy says, I hope both of them get hit by a bus.
right.
You hope your own child get hit by a bus? Like that's what we saying?
Okay, so that was something that was talked about because like it looked like Marquise was a traitor, and that was one of his ops.
But that's another thing when people say, how is Marquise a traitor? Like when Marquise talks to Floyd, he's always known Floyd as his Uncle Floyd. He's been around Floyd since he was a little boy. How is he being a traitor? When Marquise talks to Slow from Slow Bucks, I know Slow as Winslow. He's been around Slow since he was a little kid. How is he being a traitor? Like I don't understand. Like how is he being a
Right.
traitor? These are people that he's been around since he was a kid, and just because his father, who can't maintain a relationship with anyone, doesn't speak to him, and which Marquise doesn't really have a relationship with his father that much, so he doesn't know. Like one minute he wake up on the other side of the bed, he don't speak to this one, he don't speak to like no one knows what's going on with him.
What's the age difference between him and homeboy, Marquise and homeboy? Are they around the same age?
What the little
The boy he took a picture with the op. That they say the op.
I don't know. They probably are. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They look like they could be. I don't know because I don't really know anything much about them. Like I don't know. But that's what happened. Marquise went to an industry event with someone who used to work for his father and asked me could he go because I think Marquise was in high school then. Like he wasn't even of age. He was young.
Right.
Yeah, he probably maybe he could have been maybe freshman in high school. We were visiting New York. I said okay because I trust that person. I said that was
Right.
okay. And the boy was there, and his friend said, "Can my friend take a picture with you?" And he took the picture. But the boy held it. That's what was so crazy. He held it for like 5 or 6 years, and then he decided to post it.
Oh, once you go in your iCloud or your
The
Dropbox,
boy was
whatever, it's there.
in my DM. But I have DMs. I can look at my DM right now. The boy was in my DM saying, "I want to talk to you." Or like. So this was like a gimmick. So I'm lost. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure you get a lot of that. Would you being that this got so many views, millions of views on the last one we did? Would you take money not to do another interview? Would you, if he reached out to you and said, "Yo, listen, let's make amends and don't talk no more," because there wasn't really a lot of response to the last interview, right? Because people say, "Oh, he's going to sue her." It's a matter of time for he do something to you as far as in the court. And But you're speaking the truth. Anybody can sue anybody, but gotta be the
I
truth.
saw,
Got
I
to prove your point.
saw, I
Go ahead.
saw a lawsuit on God at the Supreme Court. Like, no, that's really someone tried to sue God, so anybody can put a nuisance lawsuit. So, but go ahead.
Right. So would you take money? Would you take
No,
any kind of money for him to be quiet?
no,
Because some
no.
people say you're doing this shit for money, for like I said, clout going on
I
with money.
haven't got paid off of it. So I did numerous interviews with TMZ. I've never got paid. So
Right.
what is he talking about? I've never got a check from TMZ. I've never. No. It's
Right.
not about. It's about awareness. It's about me standing up for my children and myself, and not allowing someone to use their platform to continuously bully me if I have an opportunity to speak. That's what it's about. No, I would absolutely not. It's no. See, I don't understand that logic that all these rappers and everybody have. I'm cut from a different cloth. I don't understand that.
Right.
Well, if you can't beat them, then you join them, and then, no. I don't do I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that. Like, no, like, some beef is everlasting, and the things that he has bestowed upon me and my children, we could never speak. We will never be good.
You said you
We will
cut
never
from a
be
different
good.
cloth,
I
me.
hate to say never, because God, we will never be good.
Right.
We will never be
And you said
good.
you cut from a different cloth. Where you from, Nick?
Originally, I am born from East Elmhurst, but I'm South Jamaica, Queens.
The real. But what you were saying earlier, the
My
real South,
grandmother
the real South side.
my grandmother owned a house. Well, my uncle and my mother were raised in East Elmhurst, but my grandmother moved to South Jamaica when um her children were already adults. But I went to St. Pius in South Jamaica, Queens, first grade. Started first grade. My grandmother lived on Lakewood, had a
Right.
house on Lakewood Avenue. My mother owned a house on Linden and Inwood in 145.
Did your mother know? Did your mother know 50? I don't want to cut you off, but what did your mother know on Boo?
What he went to live at her house when they put that hot lead up in him. That's who house he was at.
Oh, so when in the movie, the girl that played your character, the house that he went to was Sabrina crib. Her name was Sabrina, by the way.
And that's my mother's name, Sabrina. I'm gonna we gonna Google that. We're gonna Google the house where he was at. My mother's old address. And my mother's deceased now. Let's see.
Then we're going to address the juicy part. Everybody want to hear that relates to the Diddy trial. Everybody want to hear what you left us. Everybody on. All right. I want to get to the after you address the who she was. We'll get to the whole who
But
who baby mother.
he must have. So when he was shot, my mother even was the reason why he had security in the hospital.
What do you mean?
Well, when he got shot, um, Tone from Trackmasters came to the hospital. So my mother was like, "This is the second attempt on my son and his life. Like, he needs security." And that conversation with Tone is what prompted Sony Columbia to pay for security for him in the hospital. So this is my mother's house where he which you've been there plenty of times.
Yeah.
This is my mother's house where I took him after he got shot to heal, rest, and because all his family had was in the hood for him, so they could finish the job. So we're gonna clear that up. But yeah, but it was my mother. She was the reason why he had security. It was my mother having a conversation with Tone.
Oh, none of his peoples was there. None of the dudes from the hood was there to hold him down in the hospital.
Who?
None of his peoples was there.
I mean, his grandmothers and his aunts, but like they weren't thinking about that. And my mother, she's just, she wasn't a young mother, but she was more just savvy, and she felt like that was needed, and like not even her and I didn't even have a conversation about, like, she just literally, we all was at the hospital. It was me, his aunt, his grandmother, Tone, my mother, and we were all just like, I guess, like, trying to figure out what's the next steps. And my mother, that's what my mother, and she's anybody who knew my mother, she was a very bold, and she, she was gonna say, "Are you laughing because you know her?
Yeah.
You knew her." So yes, and she was the reason why he had
Right.
security. She was that reason.
That's a
And then before she left, like, I was trying to look for a place while we were in the hospital, and my mother was like, no, y'all just come here. So he didn't even go back to his grandmother's house from the hospital. Sony had paid for car service and we drove straight to Pennsylvania, straight from the hospital. He didn't even go back to his grandmother's house.
So I mean, so that's pretty accurate with the movie. I've seen it years ago, but that's pretty accurate with the movie, basically. The door
Absolutely.
was by his shop.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So much that he forced me in Chris Lighty's office and choked me to sign the release for it. So yeah, so it must mean something. And that's all documented in court. Like this is something I've talked about in court, and these are in my court transcripts.
Right. Now we're gonna get to the juicy stuff. A lot of people came in here because
Okay.
the last time we left the last live, you had mentioned that. What did you say again? Let you go ahead. How did you leave that last one? Go ahead. About
I
the baby
think the
mama or
last
somebody.
live was we were saying that I said Puffy wasn't the first one who slept with someone's baby mother. And that's the real of it. Like,
Okay, so what happened? Who slept with who? We want to get to what? Who did this? Who was bending who over? Did I know who happened?
this what it
What happened?
was. So, unbeknownst to me, James Cruz hires Puffy's baby mother to be his stylist, right?
Wait. James Cruz. Who's James Cruz?
James Cruz used to work for Violator Records.
Okay, go ahead.
James Cruz, shout out to James Cruz. He hires Misa to be 50 stylist, request from 50. Because 50 was upset. He wanted to sign Mace. So Puff was like, okay, you got to give me I spent $2 million on him. You want to give me $2 million? 50's like, no, I don't feel Mace is worth $2 million. So
at the time,
Puff is like, no, that's my price. And if you want him, I spent $2 million on him as an artist. You're gonna give me $2 million, not on some of this. This is what his price. You can't. His price is his price. Boo Boo was mad because Puffy didn't want to give him his artist for the price that he wanted to. So he decides, I'm gonna hire his baby mother, bring her in, to plot to sleep with her to get information on Puffy.
Wait, hire her to do what? What do you mean hire?
She's a stylist.
Oh, okay. Just want to make things clear. I'm out the loop with that shit. Oh, you hired her to be. He hired her to be her
But
stylist.
for him, it was a plot to, because even like when she first came on, like a girl that used to work for him, she was like, "Oh, but you like Misa? She's so nice." And she came in the gate. So the girl was telling me she came in the gate talking Puffy out the gate, like talking about how he's abusive. This is what she's telling the girl, and the girl's telling me, she said, "Well, you like her? She's so nice."
About how long ago was it? I know you probably maybe a year or two off, but about how long ago was that? You think?
It was a long time ago because this was like when the first. So this had to be maybe like about 2004, maybe 5, something like that.
That had to be after the first album, then. You were to Die Trying.
Yeah, because now it's the tours are going. Now Mace is like, so Mace was going on tour with him. So like I met Mace, like Mace was around. So at this point, Mace is around.
Right.
And which he's just a cool guy, whatever. So I laugh every time when I first met Mace. I was like, Mace, I see, Mace used to preach with Creflo Dollar. So I was like, oh my goodness, I see you on, Creflo Dollar's spiritual father. And he's looking at me like, I'm Murder Mace now. But anyway, like that's a little joke. But,
I fuck with him. I like Mace.
Yeah,
I fuck with Mace.
I'm Murder Mace now. But anyway, yeah, so Mace is around. So he really wants to sign Mace. And so he brings Misa in. And yeah, and that was it. So,
wait a minute.
Yeah, so he brings us. So that's why when you hear in the song, I'll play y'all the audio. That's why when you hear in the song, he says.
Yeah, I think
he said
one of those content creators had pulled it up. I'm sorry, I'm talking about
it was academics. Like he was on point.
Pulled it up. Yeah, he definitely was on code with it. He pulled it up in line in the song, but I wasn't.
says it in the song. He said, "Don't make me tell you what Misa told me."
Right.
He said it. Don't make me tell you. And then he made another song. I forgot to pull it up, but yeah, but he said it. Don't make so that was the trick. But I guess Puffy plays the long game because fast forward now, not only he sleeps with your baby mother, he dog walks her.
Night dog.
He
Man,
dog walks her.
nasty work. Yeah.
He dog walks her, and it's paying your son. He plays the long game and paying your rent where your son lays his head at.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the Diddy trial, the accusation, the charge? What's your thought on that? That's all. I mean, you knew the insides of a lot of things that went on back then. What's your thoughts on it today, 2025?
If I was to get like a legal analysis on it,
Her opinion. I mean, legal analysis. It doesn't. I'm not a lawyer, but it doesn't look like Rico. But go ahead.
I don't think it's proven a RICO. I don't. But I think sometimes people just want to atone for the things that they have done.
That's what I was getting at. Your opinion.
Yeah, I think they're gonna atone for the things that they have done. You can't. See, I feel like the devil could bless you and God could bless you. You know, it's who you choose.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we see the glitz and the glamour doesn't mean it's a blessing. But I just feel like when you are in that light to that magnitude and to have the success of being able to change your family's lives and to act in a sense like you are God, I think you're gonna have to atone for the things that you have done.
Quick question: do you think that Fiend is a victim?
I think Cassie's a victim. I don't think that is a victim. I think she has been a victim as in when he put his hands on her, then she's a victim. But I think the sexual aspect of it, no, I think that's what she wanted to do.
Right.
I think that's what the history, even by her own testimony, that's what she does. Like he said, she introduced like to the three God thing, and so I don't think. I think the victim in that situation would be the son.
The little boy. Right.
Yeah, I think he's a victim because one day he's going to hear this, and you know he's about to be Marquise 2.0 because she said in her and she testified that she sent Diddy a text message that they read in court and said, "You are the reason for the smile on my son's face." Wow. So he's going to be mad at that little boy because he's going to feel like, "Oh, you didn't tell me about him." I feel like it's gonna. I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna affect him knowing his personality and how unhealthy he is. He's gonna. I feel like that little boy is gonna.
Did you ever meet Diddy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You did. How did he come off to you? How was the interaction between you and Diddy at the time?
Well, I didn't have much interaction. I mean, I met him. He's very clean, pristine. Very, very smooth talker. Like like the last time I saw him, we were I took the children to a Beyonce concert, and Mona had Mona Scott Young had brought Diddy over to us, and he was like, Marquise, I'm your uncle, and he just said hello, just but very just just very charismatic individual. Very, very much. You heard the voicemails. Like you think you're gonna give me silence? This is gonna be silence.
Right.
Better get on your job.
Well, go ahead.
No, but he just seems like just a cool individual. Yeah, just.
But he never tried to holler at you. No. I'm just going through some of the chats and people told no, wasn't no disrespect like that.
Very brief interaction, but no.
Right. So, like you said, this is not something about you getting money in interviews and you coming on live. You know, eventually you will branch off and start speaking about yourself.
No, if the person is going to have an opinion about me, like not saying that their opinion matters, but if you're going to have an opinion about me, it's not going to be just based off of what the narrative that he has tried to control, and that's the problem.
Right.
He has been doing this for years, pre-social media. I'm talking about just in the public for so long. He's been doing this for so long. I want to segue too. What we didn't piggyback off of was the Misa thing. Like I don't want to forget this.
Oh, go ahead.
So yeah, so then like so now and I come on tour, I see her, she's acting funny. Like she you could tell like she didn't want to engage with me. You could just tell it was funniness. So then now I'm on tour.
Mm-hmm.
People were knocking on the door and you go out, no one's there. Like just it was just a whole bunch of funny stuff. But this is what it segued to. So I was in the process like of leaving him then. Like, like I had enough of him. I was, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I had told we had a conversation. I said, he just said, "Oh, let's have another child, blah blah blah." And I'm like, no. I'm just, I'm ready just to exit. So I said, I'll get an attorney. You get an attorney.
You say you want another child. You said by
Yeah.
you. Okay,
So
go
he
ahead.
wanted another child because he knows my personality. People use you against you. He knows that probably if I had another child, I probably would stay. Whatever the case may be.
Right.
So I said, I'll get an attorney. You get an attorney. And we'll just do a deal. Just do a deal. We don't have to go to court or anything. So that was my thing. I called Misa's lawyer, Brett Kimmel. She tells him, I guess like she must have talked to Brett or whatever and said that she tells him that I called Brett and he retained Brett before I did, even though I had called him already, which he really was tainted and he wasn't supposed to be on the case anyway, which I have that in transcripts too. Like I had my phone records to where I called the office. Like if you saw his number there. I had a conversation with him. Which is crazy. But anyway, he was supposed to be on the case anyway. She told him that I retained him, and that's why he filed. Because he knew I was going to, or that would have been, he knew he wasn't going to do a deal with me in the background, so he knew that I was going to file, so that's why he filed. Not because I was greedy and I was asking for more money. It was because he knew I was going to file, and he went and tainted it, and he retained the lawyer that I was trying to retain. Or because she told him. She told him about the attorney.
Wait. Who told him about the attorney?
Misa. It was
Misa told
her.
Okay.
Yes.
And he filed for child support.
Yep. But you know how the handlers do, because we went to a fashion show. G Unit had a fashion, it was Fashion Week. We go to the fashion show. Chris Lighty's assistant asked me for a copy of Marquise's birth certificate. And I'm like, no,
what, nigga?
giving you a copy. But you need that to file for child support. You need a certified copy to file. Like as I know, I didn't know then, but I know now. And she asked me for a copy of the birth certificate, and he kept saying, "Shaniqua, you sure you don't want to be with me? You sure you want to be with me before I do something stupid?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to be with you." And she happened to be at that fashion show.
Go ahead.
And that's when he filed. Not because I was asking for money. I was being like, that's what I'm saying. Just spinning the narrative, just the crazy bullcrap, just spinning the narrative. I never asked him for any more money. I just said, "Look, I don't want to be with you anymore." Well, you're going to have to pay something. Like, you're going to pay child support. So that's just, I wasn't even gung-ho about going to court. That wasn't my thing. But, the power was that big. Because, like, now he's a cash cow. He's an entity.
Right.
So they're going to protect his image at any cost. So now they concocted the story. We're going to file. So it would look bad if she takes you. But if you take her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that came about. But, yeah, she was the one who told him about was looking to retain her attorney.
And he took you to court for child support. I mean, I know the story, but for the people that don't know, messy as hell. Have you ever had a conversation with Misa since back then? Y'all never really spoken.
No, we never spoke. That's the thing. We never. For her to be That's my boyfriend at the time. For her to be his stylist, I've been friends with his stylist Tiffany, the assistants, Mia. Like, I'm lost how, like, yeah, never spoke. She was always just like, just just
Right.
yeah. And he never introduced. So you knew it was something.
Right. I
But
remember.
no, the last time I saw her, Pretty Shy had passed away. Rest in peace, Pretty Shy. And she came to the funeral.
Right. And we
But I
had
just
we had a lot of one of the things that went um viral in a sense last time was the when you told her I asked you why did you leave him, and you said he smacked you in front of your daughter, hit you in front of your daughter. You didn't say so.
I
You
mean, but
said
that wasn't the first time. But it's just a constant abuse, and it's like you
right.
just don't like as a mother. How do you not to cut you off, but how do
Well, go
you
ahead. It's about you, not me. Go ahead.
explain to a female child, especially like you don't want to set the tone that this is what you should accept from a man.
Hmm. Hmm.
You don't want to set that tone as a mother. You
Yeah.
just
I want to. There is certain questions in the chat that kind of. Somebody said, why he cut off Pretty Shy? Do you know that?
why did he cut
Yeah,
off Pretty Shy?
I don't
Oh,
know,
this
but go ahead.
this is when you're gonna explain the narc in him.
Go ahead.
Why did he cut off Pretty
I
Shy?
know the story, but go ahead
Um,
for the people in the chat.
I, yeah, I don't really like to tell Shy's business, so you know he's going, but
Okay, I mean, what?
so no, but I'm gonna tell the story.
Go
So
ahead. Whatever you want to
so
do.
Pretty Shy, he was upset with Pretty Shy because Pretty Shy was his like right hand. Pretty Shy was always with him. So even when him and I would go through stuff, Pretty Shy was privy to all that information. Because Pretty Shy used to call me like, Nika, anybody who knows Shy would always be like, Nika, he still can't say nothing to me. I see him when y'all arguing. He in the back of the car. I'm being animated because that's how Shy is. If anyone knows Shy, I see him in the back of the car sick when you don't call him. He down you back to back and you ain't answering. So Pretty Shy ended up having a baby on the road.
Ooh.
So I'm in Vegas at the time. Me and Marquise was being homeschooled at the time. So I'm in Vegas with my grandmother lived in Vegas and she had a stroke. So me, my mother, and Marquise went to go see her. So he calls me and he's on the phone. He's like, wait, he's whispering, he's moving. I was like, what are you in the bathroom? Like, what is going on? So he said, a girl comes up to the video shoot with a baby in the middle of a video shoot. So he said, I go up to the girl and I'm like, oh, a cute baby. So the girl said, the baby is shy. So this is what he says the girl says. So, and he says to me, he's like, this girl is so silly. She thinks she got shy money. She don't realize she didn't hit the lotto. She hit the number at the corner store. So this is what he's telling me. So he was so upset that so then I told him I had knew about the situation sort of because the girl had child support papers sent to the house and I was friends with Pretty Shy's wife at the time. But she
Okay.
told me, I never told him, but when he told me the story, I was like, well, I kind of knew. So he was upset that he didn't know Pretty Shy's, like, he was upset he didn't know his business. So he kept telling me for months and months, I'm cut him off, I'm cut him off, I'm cut him off. Do you know he waits to concoct a story in a situation with Pretty Shy with the car? Because P I got a Pretty Shy car. He never gets anything for anyone. He always puts it in his name. So Pretty Shy would pay half the car note. He would pay half the other half of the car
Mm.
note. So he puts Pretty Shy in a trick bag. Pretty Shy only gets paid when he's on tour. He puts Pretty Shy in a trick bag. Don't take him on tour. So Pretty Shy's not making money. So Pretty Shy's not paying the car note because he's taking his money, paying the mortgage, and doing. The car is the last thing to pay for.
Right.
Pretty Shy stopped paying the car note, and he says, "I'm getting rid of him because he didn't pay the car note." But he already had plotted and had that in line months and months before because Pretty Shy wouldn't tell him. He wasn't privy to Pretty Shy's business, and so he used that as an excuse to cut him off. Then Pretty Shy was a man, sent him a text message saying, like I had to pay my bills. I had to make sure I could pay the roof over my kids' head. Being a man and being
Right.
accountable. Do you know he was laughing at the text message and showing it to everybody, to everyone. This is how he is. Like this is who he is. Like this is who he is. Like I never forget. Like it was a guy named Dan. It was a white guy. He used to do like I think he would do like the art in unit. Like he was like an in-house like art director. Yeah, I think it was art. And Dan was one of them like skateboard white guys, and he would just be, just free willy nilly. He fires dance, and we all in the office. So he just, he gets up. He also has to make a show and like be on his soapbox and want to be in a circle where everybody, Pip, your
Right.
joke's so
Right.
funny, all that corny stuff.
Yeah, cool. Right.
So he's laughing like, yeah, I heard that Dan is on a skateboard. Since I fired him. And I just turned around and said, Dan always rode a skateboard. Like, but just the fact that you want to see someone downtrodden
Right.
because you fired, like that's his MO. That's who he is. Like
Right.
somebody said he was talking about little Kim's daughter's eye. Like, this is who he is.
Right.
Everybody want to see it as it's funny. It's not funny.
No, not one bit. So we did an hour, but I'm gonna ask you if I was gonna save this for last, but two questions. Do you think Marquise will ever make amends with his father?
No.
You don't think so? You think this is something that's gonna get taken to the grave?
Yes. Because you can't you can't make up with a narcissist. The rules don't apply to them. You can't make up with someone who's not going to take accountability. The rules don't
Mhm.
apply. So no. And who I know my son is as a man, no.
Right.
No, his morals and principles, I don't think will allow it.
Right. If you had um, if you were able to have a conversation with him, right? I don't want to say that, but I don't say now. I just say now, in the present time. If y'all was in a room together, what would there be a conversation? What would that conversation be like? If you and him, outside of Marquise, Shaniqua Thompkins and Curtis Jackson, you just had a conversation. Would there be a conversation? What would be said? What do you think?
I would never be in a room with him ever.
I'm just, I'm just, I mean, it's a scenario. You know what I mean? It's a scenario. Is there any last thing you want to address? Would there be anything that you would address? Would there be any questions you ask?
I
Anything?
probably would make a statement, and I would say to him probably, God have mercy on your soul, because when he get his, it's gonna be when his full comes, it's gonna be epic.
Right.
God would have to have mercy on your soul, because when he gets his, it's not gonna be pretty. Not at all.
I mean, that's pretty deep on the two questions because to say, usually as people get older, they they make amends with their faults, their guilts. You know what I mean? People live with a lot of skeletons in their closet, and when they get close to death, they want to make amends. You know what I mean? So to say this is I don't want to say beef, but a disconnect that we take to the grave, that's pretty deep. From a
But
father and a son.
he has to let these are you can't be victim to situations that you have created. These are situations that he has
Right.
created. He doesn't have a relationship with Marquise because of him. It's not because of It's not because of me. He doesn't have a relationship because of the things he has done to Marquise,
Mm-hmm.
the things that he has said to Marquise, the things that Marquise has witnessed. That's why he doesn't have a relationship.
Right.
I was able in my custody agreement, I wasn't allowed to move within a certain mile radius with Marquise. Um, I was able to move, like, so he had visitation rights every other week. He would see
Right.
Marquise every other holiday. That was a visitation right. Mind you, he signed over his rights, but that's another story. Um, I was able to move to Georgia for almost a year without him knowing because he didn't keep up with his visitations. Not that he couldn't get in contact with nobody. He changed his number. Nobody knew it. I kept Marquise's number the same so he wouldn't have an excuse to say, oh, nobody has a number. I was able to move. I think it was over a year and he didn't know anything about it because he didn't keep up with his visitation. He didn't keep up with it. So it's not me. It's him. It's I have no fault in it. It's him. And I
So
have put my pride in my back pocket for the sake of Marquise. Like I have. Like, I'm gonna tell you just another example of why things are the way they are.
Right.
This is
So
another
there's
example.
there's no matching pajama sets that we have in pictures, huh?
No.
No.
So I have a slew of text messages that I got out of Marquise's phone from his father. And the way he talks to him is
Got
just
receipts.
ridiculous.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to post. I'm going to post it in
But
chronological
we're gonna do it a
order.
certain way. We're gonna do that a certain way because like I said, we're gonna have longer, more up to date talks because it's not only about 50 and 50 Cent baby mother.
Mhm.
We can, you're still your own person. You know what I mean? So certain shit, when certain shit
Absolutely.
come out, we do that a certain way. I mean, at this point, people that have made tons of money off of the first interview, we know that. And they're gonna probably clip this up too, from YouTube to TikTok, whatever. It's everywhere. Twitter. I mean, it's everywhere at this point. You know what I mean? They're gonna make a few dollars off this point. Who knows? But no, there's a point where you're gonna learn social media, how it works, and you do it the way you want to do it from here on out. I mean, at this point, social media, a social media page is entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? So you take advantage of that, and it is what
But
it
I
is.
was like, why does that upset people? Like, oh,
Go ahead.
she just want money. Like, I don't know nobody who can't live without money. Like, I'm lost. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
Right.
so y'all just want to be in my business for free, which y'all been, and y'all still are because I'm not making any. Like, what are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What are
Mm-hmm.
we actually talking about?
Right. No, hold
Like,
that.
people are just like, it's unbelievable how the masses, they're just, the ignorant level is just, I mean, it's beyond me. Like, it's definitely above my pay grade. Like, it's just, you just don't understand. Like, to me, it's just so plain and simple. If I weren't in my situation and I wasn't me and I was on the outside looking in, like, I don't know, like, do you guys put on your critical thinking caps? Like,
No.
I-
No.
they, like, he tells you who he is on his post. Like, it's not, he's someone that I would not think it's funny. Like, he would not be someone I would follow. Like, he just would not be.
Well,
He wouldn't be.
so let me address that real fast. So if that's the case, I'm going to ask because I like to play devil's advocate. Did you see any of these signs before you had Marquise? Like, did you see anything? What exposed it? Because they say, we can say the money, well, right?
Mhm.
So they say money doesn't change you; it amplifies the person that you already are. So is
Exactly.
this something that he already was? So that's what I'm going to get to that. Go ahead.
I think the first time I saw it, not only he beat me when I was pregnant with Marquise, and I'm talking about my stomach's out to here. It's too late for me to even abort the pregnancy.
Right.
Um, we were at his he was on parole at the time, and we saw a guy. I guess he was from the neighborhood. The guy looked a little disheveled and shabby, so we went up to him, and he was like just real calm. So he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Hey, you doing?" I said, I see you got some nice sneakers on, cool." And he like leaned over to him and said, "Yeah, you're gonna get $150 in the face for the money you owe me." But just so calm and cool and smiling. That was like the first tall tale sign, like,
Mm,
um, something is
right.
something is wrong.
Well, like I always say this. Excuse me. There's always red flags. You know what I mean? There's always a red flags. No matter what you do, it's always something you could think back and say, "Damn."
But this is what
Go
people
ahead.
don't do. People don't take accountability. And see,
Right.
for me, this is just my way. I'm not saying I haven't been a victim to his ways. I have, but I always say to me, when I didn't know who he was, I was a victim. I, I was a victim. But once I knew who he was and I continued to deal with him, I'm no longer a victim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a willing participant and I'm participating in this willingly. And so that's when you got to do the inner work and look at yourself and say, why am I dealing with this? Why am I staying in this? So see, for me, he never was a spin copy. He never was ill and he's spinning people like he never was ill to me in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to look into myself like, why is it, am I staying in this? Like, that's the work you have to do for yourself. Not saying that it gives a person a right to mistreat you
Right.
or abuse or do anything negative, but it does. You have to look at yourself. You have to look within.
So similar to the females that was on the Diddy trial, there comes a point where you're not a victim, right?
No, you
you
participate in his
gotta,
move.
right,
Like
right,
if he's sexually assaulting you, then that's a problem. If
right.
he's raping you, that's a problem. But when you're voluntarily having unprotected sex with multiple men at a time and using drugs and like that's on
Right,
that's a
right,
choice because ain't nobody making me do that. I'm not I'm not doing it.
right, right.
That that's a choice.
It is. Well, we did we give more time this time than the last one. It was an hour. Um, so um, before I get off, I'll let you go after me. But before I get off, well, it's great interviews because a lot of content, and let them know that you will be springboarding off this to do your own thing. We're gonna work on something, and we're gonna go from there. So,
Okay, I
like I
like
said, it's
that
been an
idea.
hour and 10 minutes. It's probably Instagram may cut me off, banning me and shit. But you go ahead, nigga. It was a pleasure. I love you, Nick, as
I
always.
love you
All
too.
right. So
I love you more. I
you know
truly
that,
do.
Nick. And I will speak to you after.
I will.
All right, Nick.
Okay. All right. See you later, guys.
Do
Next
your
story
thing.
time. All right.